Hello and welcome to Give and Take the Positives in Life. And we are here in the new year, and I have a wonderful guest that will be starting us off for the new year. And so the topic for today is health, wellness, and spirituality. And so I'm going to welcome my guest, and he will introduce himself and tell you a little bit about him. So welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Robert Trincellito, and I am a health and wellness coach and a motivational speaker. And I have been on quite a journey over the last 8 years. I wasn't always very healthy and always very spiritual, but I have discovered many things that have brought me on a wonderful journey to rediscover my health and my spirituality. So,
Very good.
thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here because
you.
I know that you will have so much to share. You know, when people feel that they're in a despair and wherever they are, it's always good to have someone come on and share what they're, there's a connection. They'll say, wow, I'm going through that. And so share about your journey, because I know you told me about your health issues and where you are now.
I'll make it quick.
Okay.
8 years ago, I was obese. I weighed over 220 pounds. I had migraine, headaches, psoriasis, depression. I had suicidal tendencies. I had self-destructive tendencies, and it culminated in a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
So that was January 7th of 2008. I was officially diagnosed. And what occurred with me was that, of course, I went to doctors and I did all the research and all, and I found that that the journey most people in my situation were in was not on a journey of they were on a maintenance journey. They were on a maintenance of, let's just make sure it doesn't get worse.
Right.
And I wanted to get better.
Right.
So I'm like, well, how do we do that? And doctors were wonderful, but they were quick to prescribe medications and so on. And I wanted to know, well, how did I get multiple sclerosis? How did this happen to me? And maybe that's the key to finding out how I can repair myself.
Sure.
And that didn't occur from the doctors. They did not know how to do anything but to prescribe me medications. And I had wonderful counselors that helped me with the emotion around it. But I wanted to go get it. So I took it on myself to just do some research and find that there were many other paths.
Very good. Because, I mean, the doctors, they diagnose. And so they treat you in the way that they've been trained to treat you.
Correct.
And so they were doing their job. And so, but you're saying, but I need more than this. I don't want just to be treated. I want to be healed.
Yes.
So how did this happen? How did this whole thing, you went from that, the weight, and you dropped it off and you began to heal. So please talk about how that happened for you.
Thank you. It happened rather quickly. When I made the choice to take my health into my own hands, when I made that choice, that actually happened very quickly. I started to read books about people that have cured themselves of the disease, and I found something very common about them.
Right.
And what was common about them, they all were very careful on what they put into their body. And for the first 5 or 6 years of my wellness journey, I did exactly that. I made sure that the foods I took into my body were clean and healthy, which basically came down to a vegan diet, a vegetarian vegan diet, and a lot of raw food, 80% raw, to get good live enzymes into your body and to clean and to detoxify your body.
Very good.
Then I discovered things like hydrocolon therapy. I became a colonic therapist about cleaning out the bowels and detoxing the body in that manner. And I did that for many years, and I immediately, the first few months after getting diagnosed, when I decided to go on this journey, I dropped the weight very, very quickly. And I started to feel good, I started to look good, and everything was great. But That was only half the story.
Okay. There's always half the story,
Well,
right?
the other half of the story was I still woke up as a guy that had psoriasis and migraines and multiple sclerosis. I still woke up as a damaged person because I did clean my body and I looked better and I lost 60, 70 pounds and I had so much confidence, but I still was missing a connection, and that connection was what was going on inside my soul, what was going on spiritually with me. Because once again, I still had the memory of that person who had that disease.
Okay. So, talk about the colon therapy.
Sure.
Because people hear about the colonics and they're not
Right.
sure about that. So, if you can just go into little detail about the colonics.
Thank you. Well, what the first thing I'll do is I'll talk about the fact that most people, what they know about it is wrong. There's a lot of scare tactics about colonics, and I did one a week for 6 years. I mean, every single week I'd go and take care of colonic because I had trouble. I was constipated for 20 years. And one of the first signs of disease is constipation. Because if your body's not releasing, it's holding on to debris that your body wants to get rid of, and it gets into your bloodstream and so on. So when I discovered colonics, there are tactics to make people fearful of them. For some reason, I don't know where they come from, but it's going to kill all the good bacteria in your body, which is certainly not true. It's going to wash out the good flora and the acidophilus, which isn't true. It helps your body actually produce more and healthier, good probiotic, the enzymes in the belly. So cleaning out the bowels is one of the quickest ways to help your bloodstream, the skin, your hair, everything really cleans very quickly, and it's a real path to wellness. So when I discovered colonics, I realized that my body, after 20 years of being constipated, my system wasn't working well, even when I was taking in good things. Besides juice fasting and juice feasting, food was not working well through my body. So when I discovered colonics, it really changed a lot for me. Yeah, it was amazing.
Good.
So
I'm glad that you shared some of because there are myths about everything.
Yeah.
And so for someone who's actually had it done and was practicing that, then I wanted to have you to share that. That was very good. So now you're
it's going to put the doctors out of business. Colonics will put doctors out of business. I'm telling you. I'm not I don't want to be paranoid skeptic or anything, but I've learned that a loose rule is whatever I learned throughout my years on Earth from doctors and wellness, I do the opposite.
Oh, okay.
I do the opposite, but yeah.
Well, they have their part to play, and they play it the way that they're supposed to.
Absolutely.
And I have that respect for that.
No
but
doubt.
it's like I've gone through those situations where they've said, well, you've got to do this. It's okay. Thank you for the diagnosis,
Absolutely.
but I need to now find another way that I can take care of this naturally and holistically.
I'm the
because
one
that's
with
whole
multiple
thing.
sclerosis, not the doctor. So, and I hope people understand that when you have something goes wrong with your body, whether it's a major disease or something minor, it's really up to the individual, and every individual is different.
That's
Everybody
right.
reacts differently, but there's the greatest doctor in the world, the greatest hospital in the world, the greatest medication in the world is the body's own immune system, and we have to give it the opportunity to heal, to help to heal the body, and we have to just give it a little assistance, and it's really not a difficult thing.
Right.
And my main theme in my wellness has been awareness. I'm not perfect. Even now, I'm not perfect.
Right.
But I'm aware of what's going on. And I'm aware of my bad behavior. I wouldn't even call it bad behavior, but I'm aware of everything I do. I'm aware of everything I put into my body.
And see, that's the awareness.
Yes.
It's having the awareness.
Yes.
It's one thing to say, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but I'm not perfect.
Correct.
But I'm aware that I'm not perfect, and that's key.
Key.
It's that people think that, well, I did this and I didn't do that, and I did. It's okay.
Yeah.
These things are going to happen, but it's just being aware, and so I'm going to fix it next time. And it's being consistent with any kind of routine that you have. So you can't say, okay, I'm going to do this, and now I'm better, and I'm going to drop off. You have to keep with it.
Very,
you have to
very
be
important.
consistent. Exactly.
Thank you, if I may, because that's perfect. Absolutely. We're not perfect.
We're not.
And a good example of that is diets. People, they go on these diets, and they're very successful, and they lose 20, 30, 40 pounds,
Yeah.
and then they put it all back on plus a little. Why does that occur? Why do we have success and all of a sudden we lose it? The reason for that is Diets plant some bad energy into their diets. One of them is called cheat days. We have cheat days. And we don't want to put cheat into our energy. It's just not a good word. It's not a healthy...
I like that.
Right. It's not a healthy way to think. Oh, I get to cheat today. And that's what
Right.
occurs. What happens is, we all quote unquote cheat. I'm not perfect.
Right.
I'm basically raw vegan, but you know what? With the holidays here, I had some cookies, and when I eat a cookie, I don't eat much of them. When I do, I enjoy it. I take it into my body. I choose to put it into my body, and I'm going to enjoy it. I know what is good for me, what's bad for me.
Yes.
But if I put into my body and I enjoy everything I eat without guilt, two things occur. Number one, you digest it, because cortisol, stress hormone, staying low is a key. High cortisol, fat-producing hormones happen, everything else drops, and therefore stress, and then you don't digest. So if you eat without guilt, and I don't care what you eat. If you eat without guilt, consciously, subconsciously, no guilt whatsoever, enjoy everything you take into your body will process it. That's number one. The second part, this is known as guilty pleasure principle. The second part is that what we resist persists. So when you say, that's it, I'm never having ice cream again, I'm done with ice cream, that thought is in there. And I'm telling you, when you go for ice cream, you're going to go hard. And you're going to go big. And then you're going to eat ice cream for a week, and you say, starting Monday, I'm never going to eat again. And that's the guilty pleasure thing. What you resist persists. So what begins to happen...
What you resist persists.
Yes,
I like that.
it's true. So what begins to happen is you end up going back to it and back to it. And then when you're not perfect and you feel guilty about it, you hide, and you hide the food you eat, and this is bad energy all the way around. Now you're cheating, you're hiding, you're depressed, and that you're eating poorly. And the trick is just enjoy everything you put into your body. And also be aware of the things that your body can process and use, good fuel, versus the things the flavors, the things that taste well.
Exactly.
So fuel versus flavors is something that I work with when I deal with people. I show them the difference and how to balance it and be aware and to enjoy everything they put into their body.
So now you talked about working with people. Could you share about, because you're a coach?
Yes.
Right, okay. So please talk about the coaching that you do.
There's no rules. I don't really work with a lot of rules. I'm big on awareness. I just want people to understand getting fuel into their body. And the fuel, like I said, the best fuels, and we all know, eat your fruits and vegetables. We all know these things. There are reasons for these things. Raw vegetables and fruits, they contain, mostly vegetables contain incredible enzymes, and enzymes, digestion is the secret to health, in my experience. If you're processing your food, you're a good running machine. So many people, they put the best gas and the best oil and everything in their cars. Yeah, they'll be drinking a beer and smoking a cigarette while they're putting the best stuff in their car. And that doesn't make sense, right? So we need to understand that that what we need to get into our body. And you can have your meals that aren't the greatest fuel, but as long as you're getting that fuel into your body, many things occur. And it's that opposite of guilty pleasure. When you're eating well, your endorphins, mitochondria, things go up, your stress goes down. Subconsciously, you're planting good seeds into your thought patterns that I'm doing something good for my body, I'm doing something good for myself. And it's just the awareness around that. And if it's taking you 10 years to become sick or obese, you're not going to get well in a day or two, but you're going to start feeling better in a day or two, because you're going to be making powerful, good choices. And once again, accepting good energy and good fuel into your body.
Very good.
And making those choices. And when you don't, not feeling guilty and enjoying the things that you put into your body, no matter what it is, always enjoy it, you're going to create some balance. And it's an easy formula. For a long time, I didn't share my journey with people because I didn't think it was a real big deal. I really didn't think, because it wasn't that difficult. It was just me being aware, and then just following that awareness, and then having success. And once I started having success, I didn't miss the things that I thought I would never be able to live without.
Very good. So now, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, Robert, do you have an email address or phone number or something?
I do. Right now, I'm actually setting up a Facebook website, and I'm gonna
Great.
that's gonna be available. But right now, I would say my personal email address is fine, which would be bobbytrince24@gmail.com. That's
Okay.
BOBBYTRINCE24@gmail.com. And people can just they want to meet me, they want to ask questions. That'd
Sure.
be wonderful.
Okay, great, great. So now, moving forward, we had a great discussion about birthdays coming up
Oh yeah.
and what you're going to do with your birthday. I think it's a fabulous
Thank you.
idea.
Thank you.
And people are beginning to see that it's not about who and when and all this lavish spending on who's going to come and who's going to do this, but to do it meaningful. So share that meaningful way that you're going to celebrate your birthday this year.
Well, I got myself a cabin in the
Okay.
middle of a jungle in Hawaii, the main island of Hawaii. It has enough electricity for a light, but not for TV or what. I can't even charge my phone.
Okay.
It does have running water. And there are no other cabins around for several hundred yards, so I'm all by myself. And I really, I'm doing it for a couple of reasons. Because it's going to make me uncomfortable. And I realized in my journey that being uncomfortable is where I've made all the wonderful things in my life happen. Being uncomfortable, being unreasonable sometimes with myself is where you really get an opportunity to grow and to learn. You know, me getting a hotel room with room service and 48 channels of TV is not, it was not my idea of a romantic way to spend my birthday. I'm going to go away for the whole month of February, and I'm going to write my book. That I have
Okay.
structure on it, and I'm going to put that together, and I'm going to do a lot of writing, and I'm going to do meditation, which has been so valuable in my wellness journey. It's been incredible to really get in touch with what that is. So I'm I'm going to go
Great.
off the grid,
Just
and
just
I'm
around
gonna
the corner you'll be going.
next week, a week from Saturday. I leave.
Wow,
Yeah.
lovely.
And it's time. I'm going to write the book, and I really want to get to really get to know myself in a much more powerful, profound way. And once again, it scares me a little, which is exciting to me. I never would have thought this were possible, that I would do something like this, just go off by myself and in a cabin in the woods for a month. But I'm just can't wait.
I think that's fabulous. So we'll have to have you come back on the show
I'll
and
share.
share about that
I will.
experience because
I'll
it
have a
sounds
tan,
really
and I will-
exciting.
I will be, yes.
Lovely,
Thank
lovely.
you. Thank you.
So now, in your personal life, is there anything that you practice spiritually, religiously?
Yeah, well, what had happened to me was I wasn't connecting with people. I was trying to help people, but I was doing it, I wasn't doing it in a powerful way. I wasn't really reaching people. People were impressed a little by what I've done,
Sure.
and some people that
They're looking at
recognize
the physical,
me, that
right.
physically I've changed so much.
Yes.
And mentally and spiritually I had changed because I felt so much better about myself that I got to handle this, and all my symptoms of my disease have left my body.
Wow,
But I still
lovely.
woke up as that guy that I woke up broken. I woke up like there's something I had to do, or something was missing, or something was lost, or I had to correct something. I just woke up with that horrible feeling until I discovered meditation, specifically Brahma Kumari, Raj Yoga meditation, which talks about peace and love and not being attached to all these things that we think matter to us. What other people say or do has nothing to do with me. It's I'm just going to be a loving, caring person, and just support and give and receive powerfully, and it's been wonderful. Now I find myself connecting with people because I appear differently, because I am. Spiritually, I'm calmer, I'm more grounded, and it must be emanating from my body.
Lovely.
People picking up on it. It has changed everything for me.
Isn't that wonderful
Yeah.
when you can find something to really connect to, and then from the connecting that you're able to then connect with others in a meaningful and positive way. So any practices that you do with the Raj Yoga?
Well, I meditate several times a day, and I do go to classes on how to learn more about the connections and so on. I do read a lot of spiritual books. I do read a lot about the power of positive thinking. Thoughts become
Good.
things. Very important
It
to know
is.
that we're responsible. We're responsible for everything that happens in our life.
We certainly are.
My disease, I was responsible for it.
Yeah.
You know, 90% of disease is avoidable. That's a fact. 90% of all disease is avoidable. The
Right.
people that are smoking or heart disease, you know, that people that are putting all this cholesterol and all this fat and all these preservatives and chemicals in their bodies, we could prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
So to say that we are responsible for what happens to us is true. And the awareness, it goes back to awareness once again. I am not perfect, but I am aware. And because I'm aware, that's the journey I'm on. And you know what? If I make a mistake, there is no mistakes. Everything's perfect. I forgive myself. I learn from it, and I move on. And I don't live in the past anymore.
Right.
I don't drag all that around with me anymore. And I'm able to move forward with my life and my wellness. And once again, the most important thing is to finally connect with people. And if my story, if my journey can help one other person, and that person may pay it forward to others,
it.
and and being here, and thank you so much for
Thank
giving
you
this
very much.
opportunity
It's
to share.
important.
It means so much to me. It really does. Thank you.
It's very important
Thank you.
because, and you know, you said something there that it might make people feel a certain way when you said that we're responsible for the illnesses that are in our body. And so, you know, we want to make that clear that we're not saying that you go out there and sabotage yourself. It's because of lack of education
Sure.
that we don't know. But sometimes it's in front of us,
Right.
and we still don't see it. I mean, the signs have been out there about certain foods
Sure.
and certain things, certain places you eat. It's there.
It's all there.
So pay attention.
It's all there.
That's all we're saying. We're not saying that you're responsible, you went out there and you got this illness. No. It's that we're responsible for the things when they're right in our face. We're still having these habits that are destroying who we are.
Absolutely.
You know, externally, physically, internally, emotionally, all these things.
Absolutely.
So we're just saying, be aware. I
That's
would
it.
say that's the word of the day is be aware.
Be aware.
Awareness.
Awareness.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Once you get that awareness, once you educate yourself, then you'll realize, you know what? It was me. I was doing this to myself. And I'm thinking about what you're saying, and I'm also looking at myself to see things that I could do differently. And I know, I'm aware of it, the things that I could do differently in my life. And so I'm going to be honest and say, absolutely. You know, there's those times when I do things I shouldn't do.
Once again, it's we all do.
Oh, we do.
Okay.
We have to.
The difference is.
How else do we change if we don't do that?
Absolutely. And you know, the people that lose 30 pounds and gain back 40, that's sort of what we're talking about here, is that we're not perfect.
We're not.
And it's the fact that people, they lose all this weight, they feel good, and then they can't maintain that level of being perfect.
Right.
The holidays come around, a birthday comes around, and they feel immediate guilt by eating that cake. And no, it's enjoy it. My God, it's wonderful. You know, these things that are bad for us, they tend to taste really, really good. And around the holidays, yeah.
So there's that awareness again.
The awareness again. But here's the thing: if I'm 80 and 90% eating my beautiful, my juices and my wheatgrass and my vegetables and my salads and all these wonderful things in my body, I tell you what. Also, I have an nervous system condition with multiple sclerosis. At least I had, and in the way I look at it, once again, it's all about. It's thoughts become things, okay?
They
So if
do.
I'm eating a cookie and I can be depressed about it, and then my body will react like that, and I won't digest it, and it'll affect me that way. But if I love it, it'll just pass through me, and my body's so strong from all the enzymes and all the chlorophyll and all the beautiful stuff I'm taking into it, a cookie's not gonna be a problem, except
Right.
if I think it's a problem. And one other thing, because I have an immune system problem, and I ate all these kind of things for years and years and years that made me sick. I don't think it's unhealthy. At least this isn't I do this for myself. If I do have a cookie, I'm actually, the way I handle it in myself is I'm actually testing my immune system. I'm saying, here's something for you to work on. You know, because when you take a flu shot, they actually give you a little bit of the flu. And that's how, right? And that's how you build up
Your immune
the immune
system,
system.
right.
You build up the ability to fight it off because they give you a little bit of it. So
Right.
to actually take some bad things, quote unquote, bad things into my body, it's all benefiting me.
Right.
It's all benefiting me, and it's all how I am being
Lovely.
aware of that and perceiving it that way.
Lovely. Now, Robert, believe it or not, we're getting close to the end of the show.
Oh, no.
And so if you had one thing, a statement or something for the new year, what would that last thing be that you would say to the viewers?
I would say the last thing I would say is that I want you all to love everything that you put into your body. Really, to really enjoy everything you put into your body and be aware of some of your behavior. Once again, when I'm working with people, we lay it out there on what it's going to take to be, for a healthy body.
Okay.
Just the things that we put into our body, what really works for us and helps us
Wonderful.
be healthy, and also just to enjoy everything that we take into our
Okay.
bodies. Otherwise,
Now, you shared this Jacques Cousteau, so I want you to just share that because I think that was very, very significant.
well, the backstory to that is that I didn't think what I've done was any big deal. You know, losing the weight and getting healthy and curing myself of multiple sclerosis, because it really wasn't that difficult. Once I just started on the journey and I was aware, it was easy. But people that I love and trust keep telling me, get out there, share this with people,
Right.
you can help people. And I didn't know how to do that until I started to become spiritual and started to meditate and so on.
Good.
But one of my greatest quotes
Okay.
that I kept going back to is by Jacques Cousteau, and it said, "A man, for whatever reason, chooses to have an extraordinary life. He has no right to keep it to himself."
Thank you. And on that note, I want to thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you, viewers, for tuning in. And I would just like to say that your level of consciousness is the gateway to success of your future. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.